Welcome to The Art Confidential, the podcast where we dive into the parts of being a creative that usually stay off Instagram.
We're your hosts, Andreina and Jacqui. We're sitting down with artists, gallery owners, creative insiders, and each other for honest conversations about art, creativity, self-doubt, connection, and the real life that happens in between the making.
This isn't about perfection, and it's definitely not about romanticizing the hustle.
It's about creating a space where curiosity thrives, community matters, and we all grow together. Let's go.
I think people assume creative careers change because of one big moment. The first gallery, the first sale, the first viral post.
But when we look back at our own journeys, neither one of us could point to one giant turning point. Instead, there were these almost invisible decisions that changed everything.
Today, we're talking about the identity shifts that happen long before anybody else notices. Welcome to The Art Confidential. Woohoo!
Yay!
Here we are.
Here we are. Well, before we get into this episode today, a little shout out. The art behind me belongs to Victoria Pinney, who is a local Asheville abstract artist. She happens to be in our Wedge building in the River Arts District. We're going to link her Instagram and her website into the show notes so you can check out all of her work and follow her.
Yay, Vicky.
Yay!
We love her work. I mean, we love everybody at the Wedge. So
yes, but
shout
we're also
out to everybody.
We're continuing on our collaboration homework beyond just that episode.
Yeah, actually, before we even get started, we should talk about that. Did you do any homework?
Well, I actually connected with another artist today. She came to visit my studio, which was really nice. So that was she came to visit me, and then we talked about going to lunch. So did that.
There you go. There was an opportunity that came my way that it wasn't for me, and I passed that along to other artists. So I did that. I gave a few shout outs to a few artists also recently. So my friend Brooke is an amazing painter. I love her, and she got really vulnerable in one of her latest posts. So I gave her a shout out so people could read it. So anyway, as we said, we were going to do this right along with you, and here we are. We're doing it.
Here we are. Yes. Hopefully you guys are too and having fun with that.
All right, so let's get into it.
Here we go. The moment that nothing changes externally, but when you shift from a hobbyist to a professional, everything inside does. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I love this conversation. I think we also want to make it clear that there is nothing wrong with being a hobbyist. If you just want to have a hobby and that's 1,000% okay, and we encourage that as well. So this is specific to people that actually do want to take it to the next level, but nothing wrong if you just want to keep it as a hobby. I have many things I do that I don't, turn into an actual career. So
wait, I thought you were a professional mahjong player.
I should be. I mean, they should pay me for, the National Mahjong Society for as much as I talk about it. And for as much as I turn a lot of people. My sister actually just started playing too, so I'm very excited. Anyway, I digress.
We always digress.
So, okay, when... It reminded me, I'm so sorry, of this thing I read on Instagram that said my talent, or no, actually it was my toxic trait, is that I will tell you 10 stories when I'm trying to tell you one. So yeah. Anyhow, back to the topic at hand.
Okay, so the identity shift.
The identity shift.
So hobbyist, totally fine. But what happens when somebody decides or desires to be a professional artist?
Yeah, so I think you have to, essentially, one of the first shifts is that you stop waiting to feel ready. You're never going to feel ready. Nobody ever feels ready for anything. You don't feel ready to become a parent. You don't feel ready to try the thing. You just have to go for it and see what happens. So I think once you stop waiting for that, oh, now I'm ready because now I got accepted into a gallery, or now I'm ready because, I finally sold a piece. You're talking about evidence, rather than the desire. So if you have the desire to change it, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need the evidence to tell you that you're ready.
So no big sale, no new gallery, no, now I have a studio outside of my home, or I moved from the dining room table where I paint, which everyone's done that,
Yeah.
to now I have a designated, studio in my home. So no external factors change. It's a decision.
It's a decision. And I think that applies not just to artists, right? Anybody that's starting something new that is not in a corporation. Because if you're in a corporation, like I've said, I'm in corporate America, they tell you when you're moving on, right? Like, okay, are you ready for your next position? And you apply for that job and, it's different. There is a sign that says, now you're ready, now you're moving. Here, it's more of a personal decision. I'm going to go for this. I'm going to make this career change. I'm going to start this new business. I'm going to become a painter. I'm going to become, a musician, whatever it is that you're actually trying to turn into a career.
So this is funny. We decided we're going to do a podcaster. Or wait, cut. So we decided we are going to do a podcast. And I can tell you personally, immediately, I was like, yeah, I'm a podcaster. Didn't know what that meant or how to do it. But for me, I don't know why. That was super easy to add on my Instagram profile, co-host of a podcast. I just embraced that identity immediately, even before we recorded our first episode, which I don't know that I did that as a painter or an artist, as I did that so quickly with our podcast. And I don't know why.
Maybe it is because you're so comfortable with your voice and speaking into a mic. Like it definitely, for me, it was the opposite. I was much faster to accept my identity as an artist when I really was really bad at it. I was like, I'm an artist versus podcaster. Not that, I still also very quickly took on the title and proudly, but it wasn't as fast as it was for you. And I still downplay it when people tell me, oh, you guys have a podcast. I'm always like, oh, but it's this, like I'm constantly trying to downplay it. But you're right. Like we are podcasters.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I maybe felt more comfortable with my voice, but being a voice actor, no one ever saw my face. And, having a still on Instagram or whatnot, but seeing yourself on camera or moving, no filters. Here we are. That was a tough shift for me to put myself out there in a different way. But for some reason, and I don't know why, actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, maybe because you're along with me, that this isn't something I did on my own, that this is something that I felt an accountability and also immediate support and encouragement from you. And maybe that made the transition easier.
You're right. I didn't think about that, but it's true, right? Because there is accountability piece because I don't want to let you down. You don't want to let me down. But there is also because we're a team, right? Like,
yeah.
Our success is a shared success and our flops are going to be shared flops. So it feels a little bit easier than on your own, right? Because then it's like you attach it to your self-value versus it's like, well, we tried, right? So I think you're right.
If this ship sinks, you're a better swimmer. You can pull me along.
Listen, we'll just swim to the shore together. It's okay.
So basically, we're saying it's not one milestone that happens. It's a decision that you make for yourself.
Yeah. And on that note, again, if you're an artist, that is an individual thing. It is not like a podcast where you may have a co-host, but you can still have the accountability piece, right? And how do you do that if you're on your own? Well, you discuss your goals with somebody. You actually tell somebody else about what you're trying to do. Because when you do that, you're essentially now challenging yourself to do it because you've already said you were going to do the thing, right? So whether it is your best friend or, even when we do this thing every New Year's Day with our best friends from Florida, where we talk about, what are we doing the next year? And I actually shared about the podcast with them. At that point, we had not even recorded the first one, but I put it out there. I was like, I'm starting a podcast with a friend of mine and this and that. And then when we actually launched it, I sent them a message. I was like, I did it. And they were like, oh, we can cross it off your list, right? So again, you may be doing something that is individual, but you can totally leverage an accountability partner by sharing it with people that you trust and you love.
Absolutely. Announcing it, having accountability. What about behaviors? Like, okay, so you are saying, this is what I'm doing. How do you become that? What are your behaviors then? Like, what changes?
You fake it till you make it. I think you start treating it like a business, right? So you make time for it. You protect that time. You stop seeing it as selfish, right? And I think, I'm sure a lot of moms listen to us because, a lot of ladies support us. And man, the mom guilt is real when you're raising babies and even when they're teenagers, right? And, you're taking away time from being with the family. You feel guilty. And then you're like, well, should I be with them instead of painting? It feels so selfish. But when you start thinking about it in a way that I'm going to be a better person if I do this for me, right? Not just because of the release from a creative perspective, which we all need, but you're doing something that is important and valuable to you. And your kids and your family will see it that way and they will value it that way if you value it yourself first. So I think that protecting that time is so important. And I think as moms, I hate to say it, but it's much harder than it is for the guys.
Oh, absolutely. And it's for many reasons. Yes, absolutely. And I think there's never a right time. I mean, who feels like, oh, well, I have so much free time. Everybody's busy. And like you said, scheduling it in, making it a priority, making it like saying, this is my job. This is something that I'm making time on my calendar to do. It's not like when the dishes are done or the laundry is done or the house is clean. Oh my gosh, I would never do it. My house is never clean.
Well, neither is your studio, Jacqui. So that's not a great measurement.
That's true. Guilty.
I'm joking. I think that's so true. And in terms of like practical things that you can actually do to help you shift that mindset is get a website. There are tons of free websites. Secure your Instagram handle. It's one of the first things that you did with the podcast. You secured all the Instagram handle, everything else, right? You start setting it up as a business. I actually have a little anecdotal story too. I have a lady that follows me on Instagram and she's been following me forever. She actually took some classes with B from my studio.
Oh.
And I can tell that she's been on this journey of getting back to her creativity. She's a corporate girly like me. I'm not sure if she's working right now, but she's kind of been looking like, how do I get back? And she just recently opened her new Instagram, and that was very brave. She actually shared it with me. I'll share that in the notes as well.
Good.
So you all can give her a follow. But I think it's just very brave and it's a practical step because, you're not going to use your personal account. If you're doing this as a business, you're going to have a dedicated business account. So that's a practical step too, where you can help that mind shift in from a hobbyist to a professional.
Absolutely. I noticed too, a lot of people, and it's funny, mostly women that desire to be a professional artist, they very timidly post their work. So I will see, people will say, oh, I want to be an artist or I'm an artist and here's the Instagram. And it's like, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's pictures of their dog. It's pictures of, their children. And it's so like when they do post their art, it is almost apologetically. You can feel that hesitancy. And I get it. It's hard to put your work out there. It is a part of you. But I do notice there is a difference. There's like, it just kind of sneaks in. Here's my art.
Yeah.
And then there's a stepping back of like, oh.
So that's funny that you say that because back when I started in the very, very early days, there was an artist that I started chatting with online and she was well more advanced in her career. I was literally just starting and my account was kind of what you're saying. There will be pictures of my food and there will be pictures, like there were all these pictures. And then once in a while I would be like, and I painted this.
Right.
And she actually gave me really like honest feedback, which I really appreciated because she was like, nobody cares. Nobody cares what you ate. They're here to see your art. And your art deserves to be seen. Now, that's not to say that people don't care. I share all the time way more
Of
than,
course.
than just art. But my main reason for my account is art. And if you're in my account, you know that that's my main reason. Now I'm sharing outfits, I'm sharing all kinds of stuff, right? But it's secondary. And my followers know that. But especially when you're starting, it should be very clear to your followers, why are you here, right? Is it to tell me what you ate, or is it because you have something to show me in your art? Make it very clear you're there for your art or your business, whatever it is, right? And treat it like a professional portfolio, right? It's okay to share some of your personal,
of course,
things. And actually, you want to, because people connect, especially nowadays with AI, right? People are sick of it. They just want authentic people. Like they want the real thing. So definitely share more of you, but in a way that is still very clear what the goal of your account is.
Yes. And I think it's the tone of, yes, share the outfit and share the food, but don't apologize when you share the art. I notice that a lot of people just say, oh, well, I'm not a like when they put their art out there, they backpedal and apologize for it before they even, there's kind of this, oh, well, I'm not, as good as you, or I'm not a professional, or I don't actually, there's a lot of backpedaling, which I understand. Again, it's difficult. But when you decide, like, you take on that identity, I am an artist, don't apologize for your art. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like we said, we started out, I can tell you, my art was awful, but put it out there, stand behind it. And you're not saying, well, I'm the best and I'm not going to improve and this is it, I'm done. But just don't apologize for where you are, wherever you are, beginning, middle, end. I mean, don't apologize.
And don't be afraid to ask people to support you, right? I think that's a lot harder which is so funny, but it is the truth. It is so much harder for the people that you actually know, right? Your family and friends to show support than complete strangers. That is a reality. I don't know why we do this. I'm guilty myself of sometimes, and then I'm like, no, I need to change this. Now I'm very, very mindful. If anybody that I actually personally know is trying to do something, I am supporting them and liking their stuff and everything. But I wasn't always that way, because I think it's very natural to be like, oh, they got it. Or they, I'm not sure if they know what they're doing. I don't know what it is. It's so much easier for some reason to support some strangers, but it makes no sense. So
I know.
Don't be afraid to ask for support. I popped up on Instagram today saying, hey, can you guys follow us? We're so close to a new milestone in our followers. And I think that's okay. I think that shows that, hey, we're working on this, right? And it's important to me. And I would love your support. And I think it's completely okay to do that.
Absolutely. When you decide, oh, okay, I'm a professional artist, that doesn't mean you're just done connecting, or I'm not vulnerable anymore, or I'm, got it all figured out. We never have it all figured out. I mean, that's part of it. And, some people say, well, I don't have a gallery, I can't be a professional, or I'm not selling this. There's no guideline. There's no rubric that you have to hit this before you can. It is a decision. And this is interesting. I've been thinking about this a lot. Whatever you desire, you need to become that thing. If you desire, for instance, let's say I want to be wealthy. You can't be stuck in a scarcity mindset, judging wealthy people, feeling so disconnected, and expect that that's going to come to you. You have to feel the abundance you already have. You have to become wealthy. And that's not a dollar amount. This is a mindset. Become what you desire.
Yeah, I love that.
It's not easy.
It is not easy. Yeah, it is not easy. But I think it is, again, it's a mind shift, right? And back to your point of, mind shifts, when you stop measuring yourself by the one thing. I got accepted into a gallery. Now I'm an artist. I had a big sale. Now I'm an artist. There is no measurement. There is no guideline. You can call yourself an artist before, or a business owner, whatever, before the first sale, before a gallery recognizes you, before any of that. Don't measure your value and your identity as the new career that you're trying to establish based on one thing. Because that one thing can be taken away at any point, right?
Absolutely.
A gallery can take you on, and then either the gallery may go away or something happens, right? And that it has nothing to do with your identity as an artist.
You don't become an unartist because you left the gallery or they closed or they said it's not working out. It's like you don't unbecome it. You pivot.
You pivot.
And it doesn't have to be your only identity either. I think some people, like we were talking about moms earlier, if they say, I'm going to be an artist, well, then that means I can't do other things. No, you just be that. You can, like we talked about, you could post your fashion. You can do other things. It's not like you're giving anything up or something has to die for you to take on this new identity.
Absolutely.
But you do have to believe it before you can expect anybody else to believe it. I know that's a whole imposter syndrome thing too, but it truly is a mindset. When you want to become something, you need to act like it. Fake it till you make it. Show up. You have to show up as that.
Yeah.
Or no one's going to see it.
And build a community with that same mindset. I think that's so important too. Like if you want to be an artist, reach out to other artists, right? And like I said, this follower of mine that just started, I started following her new account. I'm cheering her on. I think it's so exciting. Build that community, right? And it can be people that you see as mentors. Like in corporate America, we always think about who are your mentors versus who are your sponsors, right? A sponsor might be somebody that is not there to mentor you, but that person, when you're not in the room, are going to speak highly of you, right? When it matters. That's a sponsor. Same thing in any business, right? Like, who are the people that in your community are going to be speaking highly of you when you're not in the room and are going to raise you up and are going to represent you well? Like, those are important connections to make. And those are built by trust and community, but you don't go at it alone, right? You don't go at it by yourself. And again, it doesn't have to be a physical community. It can be an Instagram community or TikTok, wherever you're growing your business.
And authenticity. I know it's hard to show up as yourself, but that's how people are going to connect to you, connect to your art, connect to your cooking, connect to your film, whatever it is that you're creating. And it does feel uncomfortable to be vulnerable. But when you do put yourself out there, you reach out to people, you are vulnerable. I think in this time of, AI and like this perfection thing that nobody ever achieves, to show up, even though it's hard. And those are the connections you make. I think people appreciate whatever you're doing if you're not waiting till it's perfect to do it.
Absolutely. So what are some, I don't want to call it exercises or homework, but what are some things that we could maybe tell our listeners that are maybe in that middle, right? Where they're like, I have this hobby or I have this passion, right? Maybe it's wellness, right? Like I have this passion for wellness or helping people achieve their fitness goals. What are some of the things, right, that they could start doing right now to get closer to their goal?
I would say little consistent habits or exercises, or you don't have to have this grand thing. Just do something like, let's say you do want to be a painter and you do have a full-time job. You are a mom, all of the things. Can you give yourself 20 minutes, 30 minutes to show up as that identity? You don't have to say, well, I have to produce an entire solo show or I need to do 10 paintings. No, take that away. Just do one thing, one little step. And that makes it easier to not feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah, I also think it helps whatever it is that you're doing to break it up into little tiny steps rather than looking at the end goal. So for example, if you need some kind of certification to get to whatever it is that you're looking for, or in the case of an artist, you're trying to get to a gallery, right? Set small goals towards that. So for example, if you want to get into a gallery, you know that you have to show them a body of work. So maybe you say, okay, within the next 2 or 3 months, whatever the time frame is reasonable for you, depending on the time you have, I'm going to create 3 paintings, right? And you just slowly start going through it. Or if it's a certification, okay, the first couple of weeks, I'm going to be researching what I need to apply. That's all I need to do. I don't need to actually apply for it. I don't need to, right? And break it up into achievable measurable, because we talked about this before, right? When you
Accountability.
Yes. And when you set actual goals, then you don't let the perfectionism take over and then say, I start beating yourself up. No, you met your goal. Stop moving the goalposts. You said you were going to do 2 little paintings or whatever in the next 3 months. If you achieve that, don't say, well, now it needs to be 6.
No.
Yeah. Cross it off. What is your next right thing? And just go one by one on those little steps.
Celebrate what you've done, as small as it may seem, and then set the next one. And there's no time frame. There is a time frame if you give yourself okay, in 6 months, I would like to get into a gallery. But if you do it in small, achievable steps, it is way less overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that I like to do too when I have a goal is that I break it up into kind of categories. Right. So for example, let's just say that my goal is connection. I might say, okay, what does connection look like with my family? What are some things that I can do within my family to feel more connected? What does connection look like with other artists? And have kind of little steps. What does connection look like with my friends? So sometimes taking one goal and breaking it up into categories really helps you, because then it feels a more well-rounded approach rather than saying connection. Well, what does that even mean? Right? Do I start reaching out to random people, but then I'm kind of ignoring my family, right? So if you break it up into categories, any goal, I think it kind of helps you figure out, okay, I'm adding a little bit of value in this category or that category, and it makes you feel more well-rounded than just kind of going in one direction and ignoring the others.
100%. I love it.
All right. What else you got?
I don't know.
All right. I have one more thing.
Okay.
So let's talk about lies that creatives believe.
Ooh.
So here are some things, and I'll give you some examples, but I'm sure we can think of more.
Okay.
I need to have more talent. I need to have more time. Everybody else knows what they're doing. I have to choose between art and stability. What other lies do you think artists specifically tell themselves?
Wow. I was going to say, I can almost relate to all of those things at some point. And it's not like they all go away one day when you go, I'm a professional artist, and they go away. This is we always talk about, it's not a linear, way more nuanced than that.
Absolutely.
And the lie is if this person sells, then I can't. Or there's no room for me, or I'm not original, I'm not creative.
They got their act together, right? Because you see, again, it's the Instagram highlights, which is fine. It actually inspires me to see artists that I feel have their act together. But then also makes me feel shoot, I don't. Do I need to start thinking about Christmas right now? Because I'm not, right? Because a lot of artists, are already ahead of the game thinking about all this. I'm not, but that's not my business either. I've never been a seasonal painter. So again, you can't compare yourself against everybody, because everybody has a different goal than you do. I'm not a seasonal painter, meaning that I don't actually put out seasonal collections, right? A lot of artists do it, and they do it really well. So yes, they have to start thinking about Christmas now, because they have to start ordering their supplies for ornaments or whatever it is that they're going to do. So don't compare yourself to somebody that's doing something that has nothing to do with you, because not every business plan has to look the same. There is no one way to achieve your goal. There are full-time artists that do it one way. There is people like me that do it on the side with a corporate job on the side as well. And that looks different, right? So you can't compare yourself to me, just like I can't compare myself to somebody else.
Right. And being prolific too. I think people think, well, if I can't paint fast or I can't produce 12 pieces in a month, then I'm not a professional. That looks different for everybody. I mean, some people can bang out stuff really fast. And then there are some painters that work for months or a year on one piece. So that looks different for everybody. There's no right or wrong way. And that doesn't make you less if you're not fast, or it doesn't make you more if you are fast, or make you less if you're fast. It all is different. It depends on, no one's exactly has the same path.
Absolutely. So for this episode, what we want to tell you guys, if you are ready to make that shift from being a hobbyist, and again, if you want to keep it a hobby, by all means, I'm not making any money from bird watching, trust me. I wish.
Or mahjong.
Or mahjong.
Or yet.
I wish I was. Maybe I'll figure out a way to make money. But I'm gonna let it be for now. But if you are ready to make that mind shift, what are the small little things you can do today? Maybe that's opening an Instagram account that's dedicated to this. Maybe that is protecting that time. Maybe that is telling that dream of yours to somebody to make it more real. Send us a DM because we actually would love to follow along. We would love to know what you guys are doing. We would cheer you on 100%.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what are the little steps? Write them down. And maybe this week you do one. Maybe you do two. Maybe you don't do anything this week, and that's okay too. Maybe next week.
And maybe you just say your dream out loud. I am an artist.
Maybe you write it down.
Whatever it is that you are, just say it. Just say it out loud.
Yeah, I love it. All right, this was fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
If you are loving these behind-the-scenes confessions, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating or a review. It helps The Art Confidential reach more listeners and keeps this creative conversation growing.
Follow us on Instagram at The Art Confidential, where you can send us your questions, comments, or future topic requests. We'd love to hear from you. And you can find us personally at By Andreina and at Jacqui Fell for more of our day-to-day creative lives. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.